All right, hello everybody and welcome back to Against the Fence, where of course this is the place to be if you're obsessed and passionate about the UFC. And this is our UFC 290 fan cam with Rafael. Rafael, how you doing, my man?
I'm doing good. And of course, this is the first time that I'll be here on Against the Fence of the fan cam. And man, what can I say about it? That fight, that main event was tremendously great. I will tell you like 11 to 10.
Wow. Did it go down how you envisioned it?
Yeah, because right now, with the scene comes to greatness of Alexandre Volkanovski, I mean, this man is tremendously incredible. I mean, he had to go for it because right now he's being like a great phenomenon with had the takedowns and go for the ground and pound. I mean, they have so many interesting questions about how great is Alexander Volkanovski because when they go to the ability as they go down for anything. I mean, he drops out like a master class performance of that main event of Alexander Volkanovski, and it just keep it like anything could happen at this every fight because they played like a great part, and he was like the true man of that fight, and I was like they have an amazing fight, they have an amazing finish, and it took like a really extraordinary and potent how great and dangerous fighter, which is Alexander Volkanovski. And I think it's ready to take like another title shot, which is totally amazing. And I mean this grappling and of course this what can I say about it? Alexander Volkanovski, he's a beast, he's a dangerous man. And
He is.
this could be like one of the greatest examples of how this fighter could be like one of the greatest UFC fighters of that generation.
Do you think he's the best ever at featherweight as it stands?
Well, I think it's gotta be like debatable. Because if you look at it, see for the past generations, if you see like Royce Grace, George St. Pierre, I mean, this could be happening like the greatest of all time with the Dog generation because he takes it at like another level at the mixed martial arts.
So you would safely say that Volkanovski is the best featherweight, just the featherweight we've seen so far.
I mean, so far it's been great. I think it is gonna be like one of the greatest. But if it comes to like featherweight, I mean, he takes like piece by piece, and he just knocked him off all the competition. But I think that, in my opinion, right now, he's the greatest so far.
All right. What do you think of the possibilities of him fighting Ilia Topuria? Because surely we're assuming now that Ilia Topuria is up next. We saw just the end of the broadcast there. The two of them were having some words, back and forth words with each other. How do you think that plays out?
Oh, about the Alexander Volkanovski. I mean, this is something that I just it just show up for anything could happen like this one. I mean that if it comes to the toughest decisions right now, but I mean that it's kind of a brilliant performance because he has to look at this phenomena with early takedowns where they had to go to the ground pound, but he actually closed that show with a sneaky right hook and I had to drop on it because it requires like enter the champ to declare actually the fault. I mean, it didn't keep it like all of the notice about the fighters who have been watching them, but that's like the very dominance, and that was what really impressive about it. But I think that when it comes for the fight between Volkanovski versus Yair Rodríguez, I mean, that's really brilliant. And I thought it was gonna happen like because of about the decisions and I'm thinking about it, but it has to unleash it about the shots that to defend this title.
Yeah, all right. So if Volkanovski gets paired up with Ilia Topuria, do you think Volkanovski's going to have a similar game plan?
That's a very simple plan because I think that after he knocked out Yair Rodríguez, I mean the next is gonna be like Ilia Topuria because they had to be all careful because I mean this is something about it because because Volkanovski he has 34 and Ilia was very young at 26 and he was debuting at 2015.
Yeah.
Volkanovski was debuting in 2012. and he almost had to broke all these other records because Volkanovski has to finish with 13 knockouts and Tolle with 4. I mean, he has a long win streak with 14, and Volkanovski has 1. But I think it's kind of be like he will beat Ilya as the number 1 featherweight all time because he has the only fighter that's can you believe it because the IQ of this fighter is getting at another level. But I want to get imagine about it. I mean, is anything close for the top of this level right now? This could be like an amazing battle between Volkanovski and Ilya. I mean, this is something that I can even think about it because there's no man can take it down with 140. He must have had it up all the division because that division it's something like they wanted to take it a piece by piece. But I think that Volkanovski will beat it down with Ilya because I know he's had a lot of experience, but if it comes with speed, also for jabs.
Yeah, that's right. For sure. We've got a few chats in chiming in as well. People saying, "Oh, that Volk is the pound for pound number 1, and there's no doubt about it." And potentially, Wales is saying that Volk beats Islam next. But it'd be interesting to get your thoughts then on Brandon Moreno versus Alejandro Pantoja. How did you score that fight? Because it was incredibly close.
Wow, I think Alexandre Pantoja from Brazil. I mean, that was something like unbelievable. And I remember that I was watching that fight, and that was something that I was really, really shocked because he has been he was entering in 2016, 17 with the Ultimate Fighter, and he came a long way to get out of the biggest moment of his career because right now he was from Brazil and he delivered like a sensational performance out of the go for the past 2 years. And then it comes to the top of the mountain. But I was thinking because he was absolutely phenomenal when it comes to the games with his wife and children. He can really finally touch the UFC title because he depends for all this blood, sweat, and tears, whether it comes for anything. But I think it's gonna be like one of the best fighters of the year, and I don't think it is care because he has more speed, intensity, and of course he was connecting all those jabs that the calls for it. I mean, he snapped it a little bit and he can score to anything that can happen. I mean, this man the calls like anything could happen because he's been like a really expert at grappling stalemate at against for anything. Because he wants a lot because he was like in the master submission because he has the arm striking. But he can really defend, he can really sweep, but he was like risking enough for a ground by pound. I mean, it's coming to have that anything could happen like with anything for the low. But I think it is gonna happen with this. When it comes to the taking to the next level for all these Brazilian fighters, including Alexandre Pantoja, man, that Brazilian, he knocked you down because he earned this. He earned that and all the power for anything you counted about the title. He finally made this because he was taking on like anything could happen for this guard, and he looked very confident to eating some punches, but he can have like all those heavy shots like that.
Yeah, I mean, okay, let's get your thoughts on this then. How did you score it going into the 5th round? Because we found it really hard over here. Did you score it?
Oh yes, I did Discord because I just did Discord because when it comes to like a grappling and of course and all these punches, I mean that was something that like very difficult to me because for me, Brandon Moreno has a back on the feet, he's very good. But I think the power and intensity, the aggressivity Alexandre Pantoja takes like another level. So I will take it for a result. I mean, this is gonna be like this is kind of a decision because I will take like Alexandre Pantoja 88 and Brandon Moreno 86. But when it comes to like the really intensity about those fighters, I think they have a good choice to say it of Alexandre Pantoja when it comes to anything could happen like this one because he there is back on the feet and he's walking in the trail about that. And I think it is like the big reaction is kind of have fun. Because I thought it's gonna happen like this one. But in my opinion, right here, I mean Alexandre Pantoja has became like one of the underdogs of that
Yeah,
main card with
I've
anything.
been saying for ages, don't sleep on Pantoja, because once he gets the title shot, he's going to make a
Hmm.
bit of an impact, and he definitely made it scrappy. In the fight against Moreno, and I think he just about did enough to get the edge. I felt it was 2-2, potentially going into the fifth. Okay, then in that case, let's get your thoughts on the next fight for Pantoja. Do you think he's going to rematch Brandon Moreno, or do you think he's going to fight Albazi and defend the belt?
I think it smells like a revenge. I will say like a rematch. But I think Alexander Pantoja is gonna get ready for the next level because he's gonna be like one of the greatest athletes that we thought about in the UFC. And believe me, just like in 1 year, 2 years, I mean, Alexander Pantoja can be like it exactly because he's aggressively on the octagon. It's really perfection. And I think they're gonna smell like a rematch between Moreno and Alexander Pantoja because those guys deliver like the great performance at the octagon. He gonna make it like a I don't know, like the first part, second part, third part. I mean, it's gonna be like a trilogy. But he takes like a rematch for all these fights for the title. I mean, this is gonna be like really interesting for all these.
Hmm. No, absolutely. All right. Amazing stuff, Rafael. Thanks for joining us on this fan cam. Your opinions have been amazing tonight, to be honest. You've got all the cylinders firing already, and it's still quite late for you. What time is it where you are?
There's one oh hold on a minute. There's 1:42 a.m. I think that was a United States at
Wow.
Easter time. Yes.
Oh, okay. I mean, look, we got to wrap this up because it is currently 6:52 over here in the morning, and we need some sleep. But yeah,
Yeah.
thanks again for joining us. Hopefully, we'll speak to you again soon, and hopefully stick around on Tuesday. We've got an aftermath show, so it'll be interesting to get your thoughts and opinions post UFC 290. All right, so smash a like on the video, guys, if you've not done so already. Thanks for joining us, Rafael, and we'll see you in the week. Ciao for now.
All right. All right. Have a good one.
Bye.